Hello, this is Reverend Hope, and I am doing a reading with one of my newest clients. And before we get started, I would just like to state for the record that I do have her permission to record this and to post it publicly. Do I have your permission?
Yes, you do.
Okay, super. So I want to first of all just thank you so much for allowing me to do this and to kind of like just check in with you about what's been going on in your life before we get started. Is there a particular area of your life or situation that you want to explore, or do you just have a bunch of questions?
I am currently going through major life changes in, I don't know, I would say probably most areas of my life at this moment. And I think that I'm looking for, to see if I can get kind of an overview idea of what some of my options are.
Okay.
Which direction I want to take at this point. Because I have a number of courses open to me, and I'm not sure which one might be the most productive one.
Okay, got you. So do you want to first of all just open it up to a message from the universe, or do you have like a specific concrete question like, I want to know if it's in my best interest to take this course versus this course? Which way do you want to go with that?
I would actually I think that I'm at the point where I'm willing to just open it up and let there be a message from the universe.
Okay, great. So I like doing that the most because then it kind of like brings up additional questions to ask and things like that, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I like to do is just call in our ancestors. So just give me a moment for that. Holy Mother, thank you so much for this day and this opportunity to do this reading. You know this woman's heart, you know her mind, you know everything about her. So at this time we ask that you just go ahead and look into her life, see the questions in her heart, and bring them forth with some clear answers. We ask for her ancestors to be present, her animal guides, and her angels. And I open my third eye to receive your messages. Alrighty. So Mother, as you look at this woman's life and you see the many different options that are open to her, she would like some clarity as to which direction she should go. So without going into specifics about it or asking direct questions, we just ask for a clear message that will help steer her in the right direction. I'm just shuffling the cards and thinking about you and thinking about where you are in your life and just calling in that energy so that we can connect with it. I'm cutting the cards for you. Well, first of all, the first card that comes up for you is the card of confusion. And so I'd like for us to just really start there. Now, I understand that there's lots of avenues for you, a lot of different options for you, but really what's happening and why you can't really make a clear decision about any of them is because there's really kind of still some confusion around them. You know, maybe at this point, if you want to really narrow it down to best choices, maybe this is the time to like take each option one at a time and look at the pros and the cons. Is there additional information I need here? Is there additional work I need to do around this? Why am I attracted to this particular decision at this time? Confusion can stop us in our tracks and just stymie us. And even though the best option could be crystal clear, I mean, it could be in bright neon lights as far as the universe is concerned, if there's confusion in our head or in our heart and they're not in alignment, nothing is ever going to appear clear. And that's kind of like where you're at right now. There's a lot of confusion energetically around your options, and so that's why you can't pinpoint them.
That's accurate.
The second thing that came up is the fulfillment card. and it's reverse. And what this is telling us is that the root of all of this, the whole basis of this, is this overwhelming feeling of discontentment, of more than that you're feeling, your spirit is calling out for fulfillment that it's not getting currently. And that, I know, it drives us in everything that we do. So this is also making sense. And if you progress the way you're going right now, without getting it resolved, without getting right to that path that you want that would clear everything up for you, actually what's going to happen is that you're going to start losing compassion. And this isn't compassion for other people, it's losing compassion for yourself. You start kind of like emotionally beating yourself up about, for one, about where you are, and for not being able to get out of it. And the deeper you spiral into that, I'm going to just use the words, and I don't mean judgment around them, but the deeper you spiral into that self-loathing, the further you get away from actually resolving it. What the universe is trying to tell you in this message is that it's time for you to stop being distracted from your heart's discontentment. This has now got to be a priority to you. And we get distracted by our daily living activities, our paying the bills, running errands, that kind of stuff. But we also get distracted by seeking out things that don't really matter. For instance, I'm just going to say it for instance, if this was around a career shift, you might distract yourself with a relationship. If this was around building stronger relationships, you might distract yourself with something else. And it could also be distractions like excessive TV watching, excessive internet surfing, excessive eating, excessive anything that becomes a band-aid and distracts us from actually resolving the issues at hand.
All right.
So
that actually does make sense in the context of what's been happening with my life. So yes, that makes sense.
Great. So now you're kind of like, okay, yes, I'm in agreement that this is exactly what's happening with me. Let's go a little deeper into what your options are going to be, okay? So you kind of already have an idea of what those options are. Have you, just give me one of them. What, are you comfortable just sharing one of those options with me?
I'm just thinking about how I want to phrase it. Yes,
okay.
I am, but I want to phrase it in a way that makes sense.
Okay.
This situation is, in some ways, immensely complicated in ways that are difficult to explain. But I am thinking very much that I no longer want to live in the place that I'm living now, and I have a great, I feel an overwhelming need to go back to another place that I lived in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to do that, it would totally disrupt my life. It would be a huge, major disruption, because I would have to sell my home. There would be a lot of things involved with it, and it involved moving out of the country.
Oh, okay.
So this is not a small decision to make.
Got you. So before we go any further with that, I just want you to sit quietly and close your eyes. And I want you to feel in your body what this option is. And I'm going to say it out loud so you can hear it objectively, okay? Mm-hmm. And just sit quietly and feel where it is and what it feels like. I'm selling my house and moving out of the country. How does that hit you?
would be so happy to be done.
Where do you
So
feel
happy to be done.
where do you feel that in your body? That happiness?
In my upper part of my chest.
So that gives us an idea that this is a heart-led thing. This is around the heart chakra. Something that resonates to your love factor, to your vibration around love. And that explains why that reverse compassion card came up, because the further you move away from that heart connection to this decision, the least compassion you have for yourself and others. So now let's ask the question, and we'll ask the cards, what your life would look like if you made this decision. Are you open to that?
I am.
Okay. So Holy Mother, thank you so much for that insight. And we ask now that you turn your attention directly to the option that this lady is exploring. So how would her life look if she decided to move forward with this heart's desire to move? Okay, cutting the cards. So, this is a really, really powerful response, and I want you to know that no matter what, everything is your choice, and you will be supported in any choice that you make, okay? So the first card that comes up is the love card, which I feel is very telling in this story because this is a heart chakra related issue. Universe is telling you that should you decide to make this move, it would be an overwhelming, loving thing to do. Not only would it be loving to yourself, it would therefore expand and be loving for everybody in your circle. Some people may resist it and give you tears and fight back and stuff like that, and resistance and please don't move, what are you thinking, it's a huge you're making a mistake and blah, all of that. But eventually what it all will boil down to is this overwhelmingly loving act that you're doing. That's the primary focus. Here's the reverse side to that. You hit it on the head when you said that it would be a major disruption to your life, because the second card that came up is the Tower card, and this is nothing but utter destruction. This card is about the breaking down of all of the things that you hold as truth for you. But see, the truth that you're holding on to is not serving you. It's not fulfilling you. So it has to be destroyed. It has to be broken down. And it's going to feel like loss. It's going to feel like pain. There's just no way to get around it. But if you can stay with the flow and stay in the trust that this is a loving thing that you're doing and trust in the outcome, then you will see that you're rising from that destruction as a phoenix, brand new, revitalized, ready to take on this new venture in your life, this new place you're going to be living, which is really an old place, but it is going to take some destruction. But see, we can't build without destruction. That's always going to be the first thing that needs to be done, is that things get destroyed so other things can be built.
This is very accurate, actually. This is more accurate than you know. So, thank you.
You're very welcome.
The time that I've seen that Tower card before, and it was when I was divorced. So I understand, because I had to go through that awfulness to get to the other side of it.
That's right. Now let's talk about the third card that's showing up. It's the commencement card. And this is universe's way of shoving you. It's saying, listen, what are you waiting for, sister? You've got to get off your butt and get this going. You're missing opportunities. You're making the situation harder than it has to be by just waiting for something to happen to move you along. Well, when the universe is pushing us in a direction and we're taking our little time about it and we're not moving along with the program, things start getting painful for us until we are forced to take action. And the universe is saying, don't let it get there. You got to get going on this. We want you to do this. This is in alignment with what you want on a heart level, and we want you to get going on it.
All right. I've received the message.
All right. Now what you
I
do
will
with
act
that,
on it.
that would be the best thing. That would be the best thing. You know, if this resonates as truth and it feels like truth in your body, you have no other recourse but to act on it, because if you don't, you're out of alignment with your spirit, and that's when pain happens.
Yes. You are absolutely correct, because I've been crying while you're reading. It's just, the whole thing is something that's so difficult and so upsetting for me.
I know, honey. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but in the same time, I'm also excited for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy any time that somebody makes that hard choice that leads them to the happiness that they're searching for. You have to make the hard choice.
You know, I think that part of the problem that I've been going through is simply that I've already made the choice, and now I feel like I'm stuck and can't move forward to it, and it's literally driving me crazy.
So do you know what's got you stuck, or do we need to look at that?
You know, I think it's one of those things where there are a number of things going on, and it's easy to be distracted by the front of your mind talking.
Yes.
And the front of my mind talking is saying, well, there's this, and there's this, and there's this,
there you
and there's
go.
this. But I think there's really something else going on with it that's underneath those things that's harder for me to get to. So that might be a useful question to ask.
Let's ask. So, Holy Mothers, you're looking at this lady's life, and you see her barriers and her areas of resistance. What is the underlying cause that's holding her back from moving forward with her dream and her desires? It appears that it's come down to money. Not only just money, but the feeling of, how should I put it? Some people use money as an equalizer to help them to feel on the same level as other people, to make them feel on par, for lack of a better, I can see it, but I
feel worthwhile.
Yes.
Like they feel like their lives are
yes.
Oh, yes, I understand.
There you go. So that is the underlying vibration. You know that there will be a loss in this area. It won't be a lifetime, it won't be forever, but initially there will be a little bit of a money struggle, and that is the thing that you do not want to happen. You're not willing to go there yet. And so at this point, you need to start having conversations in the front of your mind about that, about how that's not the great equalizer, and how wanting to be equal with other people is keeping you from soaring higher than yourself. This isn't about being better than or lesser than. This is about being stuck where you are because you're afraid to take that initial kind of risk or gamble and sense of loss in order to soar higher.
Okay, this actually makes this makes some sense in the context of what's been happening, and without going into excessive detail, perhaps, I can say that I have issues because I was sick for a long time, and when I've been sick for a long time, it's gotten me behind on many things, including my bills and finances. And now I'm in a hole with that, and I feel overwhelmed trying to dig myself out of the hole, and I feel like I can't advance unless I can get myself out of that hole somehow. But maybe I'm making it harder than it needs to be.
Truly. Truly. Because what if this move is the way out of the hole? I'm not saying ditch your bills, but I'm just saying it'll be out of the hole.
Right. No, I understand. Currently, all the energy's all blocked. Everything is blocked, and nothing is able to move very much because everything is so hung up, and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. About how you can move energy. When I talk to clients about manifesting their dreams and desires, and they feel blocked in that area. Now this is going to be easy for you because you're a creative person. You're an artist. So when you're feeling that kind of a blockage, get up and create something. Start putting your mind on other things other than your trouble. And in the motion of that creative flow, things will start moving again in your life. Another thing that I want you to focus on, and this is just really being taught to me as I'm talking to you, is your breath. You hold your breath too much. Do you ever find that, that you feel like you ran a mile when all you did was get up and go to the refrigerator?
Sometimes.
This is because you've been holding your breath throughout the day. You need to consciously start that breathing cycle. Your creativity is in your belly. If your belly is not expanding and contracting like bellows, then the energy is not flowing. The energy is not flowing. Practice that breathing thing. Even if it's just like, you're sitting down to the computer and you go, I'm remembering I need to spend a few minutes breathing. Just do that in that conscious awareness of acting, letting your body act like bellows to move energy and to get things flowing again. Anytime you can think about it, when you're doing the dishes, it doesn't have to be a formal meditative session, even though that's always good too. You can do this practice anytime that it's brought to your awareness. I'm not breathing. I need to allow my body to breathe and move energy. Because what you do energetically happens physically. What you do physically happens energetically. They go hand in hand. Hand in hand.
All right. I can do that. I mean, I am laughing because as we've been talking, I've been holding my breath on the phone.
See? That's why your ancestors is like, she's not breathing. She's holding her breath. You got to start breathing. People have just kind of like forgotten the importance of that simple physiological act that really affects us energetically. It's breathing. Let your belly expand and contract with your breath. Be the bellows. And stoke up your energy.
All right, I'm nodding. You can't see it, but I'm nodding.
Okay. So, do you have anything else that you want to address in this reading, or did this help you?
This this is good because it feels like you've said quite a few things that have resonated, and I know that you don't know anything about what my situation is and how complicated it actually is. And you said a number of things that really resonated for it that make sense to me. So I understand what you're saying, and you're kind of confirming a message that I already had received, but I've been dragging my feet. I really want to do this thing, but I've been dragging my feet because it seems to me like I've been finding reasons to not do it.
Exactly.
I don't, that's part of my brain is finding reasons to not do it.
That's why that commencement card came up. The universe is like, stop dragging your feet. Get on with it.
Yeah, I've allowed myself to be distracted by doing mundane things.
Yep, distracted.
And I don't need that.
Nope. It's time to put this in motion. Make this a project. And it would help if you start getting organized about it so you don't feel so scattered and so confused and so non-committal.
I've been feeling like part of this is involving another person who also has a very complicated life at this point, and I've been kind of hedging my bets and trying to play it so that if I got basically told no or slammed down hard to say no, don't do this thing, don't do it, that I could deal with that so that I wouldn't have totally put all my resources towards doing something that then isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that what's actually occurring is that I'm stopping the thing I want from happening because I'm not putting enough resources towards it.
Amen. Yep. I'd have to agree with that.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, sometimes you have to, roll the dice and hope for the good outcome to come.
That's true. And I know
I had a feeling my ancestors might have something to say about this.
Yeah.
It involves returning to the place that my ancestors came from.
Oh, I see. There you go.
I thought that they might have an opinion about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems clear that they do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They're like, oh, it's something that's in your heart, so you have to do it and be willing to let the destruction happen so you can rebuild and to not wait any longer, to act as soon as you can, even if it's just the minute steps, the preliminary background stuff. Do something to put this plan into action.
All right. I hear the message that they are delivering through you, and I will act on it.
Fabulous. So if there is nothing else, we are going to say that this reading has ended. Is there anything else? I don't want to leave you hanging.
Honestly, I think you covered it.
All right. Lovely. I'm glad to hear. And again, thank you so much for allowing me to record this.
Thank you so much for being willing to do the reading. You've done a wonderful job.
Fabulous.
I really appreciate it.
Anytime, you know where to reach me.
I do.
All right, then. Will you take care?
All right. Thank you, Hope.
Bye-bye, hon.
Bye.